Hey, you out there. You want some culturally concise commentary? You want some co-hosts who actually are authentic and real? You can tell that they actually have some type of chemistry going on? You hate cloud chasing? That's cool. I actually got something in mind for you. So keep listening. You'll find out.
This is Touchdowns with Tangents, your weekly spot for NFL takes, culturally concise tangents, and context for the culture. What's up, good people? Live from Hawthorne, California, it's your Thursday night spot for NFL takes, topical tangents, and concise commentary for the culture. I am PD Camarillo, and he is
Kenneth Ray Jamesbury.
We're a little late tonight, but it's all right. We've been having lightning fast shows anyways. There's actually a lot of content to get to this week. Signings, restructures, injuries, all that good stuff. So,
most importantly, in memoriam, obviously, rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle. Would have been 39 today. It's crazy he died 6 years ago. He was murdered 6 years ago. It's kind of really hard to wrap my mind around. It still kind of makes me sad.
For sure. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't even realize it had been that long, but I guess it makes sense.
Because Kobe died, what, the next year?
No, 2020. Beginning of 2020.
Fuck. So Nipsey's been dead longer than Kobe.
Yeah, for sure.
Fuck. I have to start the show over. God damn, that was depressing. Somebody play some outstanding.
All right. Outside of that, what do you want to talk about?
Okay, Cody Rhodes. So the Eagles beat.
Let's talk about it.
The Patriots 14-13 on preseason. This is technically preseason week 1. The Hall of Fame game was the first one. This is week 1, yeah, if I'm not mistaken. Oh yeah, Eagles won. Got their preseason win. Most importantly, Mekhi Becton went from like washout with the Jets, former first round pick, like I think 11th overall pick or something, out of Louisville. Massive human being, incredible athleticism. Good, he just kept getting hurt. He might be the starting guard for the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm pretty sure that will go on record as like the biggest offensive line ever. Because you got 2, 6, 7.
I'm pretty sure Philadelphia's already had that too, which is crazy.
Nah, they had the dirtiest offensive line.
No, at one point they had one of the biggest offensive lines.
I mean,
ever.
yeah, they're known for being.
The Raiders had one too that year that they were.
We don't talk about that. John Runyon, Trey Thomas. That's the thing. Their inside guys were kind of small though. Like Nick Cole was like 6 feet.
Who?
For that OG Eagles O line where they were just bullying people. Their tackles were huge, but their guards were like normal size. I mean, as normal as can be. If you want to call 6'3", a 6'3" guard normal, that's actually undersized. More of a center. But, like, they had Jamal Jackson. They had a big group. Let's just say that. Also, I forgot to put this in the national news. Bills linebacker extraordinaire, Mr. Coverage linebacker. I guess they call him Milk because he's a white linebacker who can cover. Matt Milano got injured again. Might miss the whole season, but they're expecting him to return later in the season. Tore his bicep, and he hit a bag and fell. He was tackling a bag and popped his bicep. It's kind of sad when you see injuries like that. It's weird how, like, you see more bicep injuries now compared to, like, people just breaking their arm or their shoulders. Because Hollywood Brown got hurt, too. He might miss the first couple weeks of the season. It's like a partially broken clavicle. But, yeah, Milano's out indefinitely. And Dawson Knox is also dealing with a groin ankle injury. So, you never know what he's going to play. But the biggest news, I would say, just in regards to like injuries. Oh yeah, Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert is out of his walking boot.
But well, I guess we're gonna talk about the signings later.
Yes, indeed. Because it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot of calisthenics going on. I'm actually impressed. I'm highly impressed. So on to the next segment.
Time for college football.
This interview is going to drop in its full context tomorrow. With an article dropping Monday because Long Beach Wilson's season doesn't start till like August 30th, I think. So we got time when it comes to high school previews. A lot of them are starting to drop now. Players of the year, stuff like that. You guys can check that out. Shout out to the homie James Williams. He actually left South Bay News Group. He's been there 11 years. Last time I checked, I'm pretty sure he's like one of the only black people there. So it'll be interesting to see who they replace him with, if they can, because that dude's one of a kind. Have the same mentor, and I've just watched him do his thing for over a decade, and it's like, whatever he does, I told him, I said, I better see your ass at the LA Bowl. And he just said, I still can't get over the chicken that they had last year. And honestly, you just had to be there. That was like a really funny ass thing that happened. Get him on the pod to talk. We'll see. So yeah, I'm going to play a little bit more of, I'll say about 5 minutes. Should I go 10? Let's go 5. 5, right? Yeah, I'm going to play 5 more minutes of that Travis Clark interview. But here's the thing. I'm just going to a random part of the interview. You guys are just going to have to, figure out what part it is once you listen to it tomorrow. When it disconnects from the Bluetooth. Yeah, it's teams are really starting to fully get back in the pads. So if you weren't in pads already in high school football, you're definitely in Hell Week right now. Just FYI. Everybody out there. Especially for those of you who don't know. Yeah, this is Hell Week. So if you got a high school kid and he's he's going through Hell Week, just pray for him. Make sure he has a lot of oranges.
Man, most schools don't even do Hell Week. Most of them don't even do double days.
Yeah, Long Beach Wilson is. Their schools like Culver City always does double days. They're
most schools don't.
Certain schools that stay really good and stay physical and are always beating the shit out of teams, they're doing double days. You don't technically have to.
Bosco doesn't do double days.
Bosco doesn't have to.
They're the number one program.
Bosco doesn't have to. And why do they not have to, Pete? Me and you both know the answer. We've had
because they've been recruiting for 50 years.
They cherry pick the best talent and then develop it. Right?
Sure.
I would say Bosco develops talent better than Modern Day does. It's a lot of dudes who were 5 stars in Modern Day who were nothing in college. I'm talking about 7th year seniors right now. I'm not even going to name names of schools, but didn't amount to shit. And Amon-Ra St. Brown transferred to Modern Day. I just want to point that out. He was not homegrown for Modern Day. Yeah. One day we're gonna have a real talk about high school football history and like why certain teams are always on top and why don't you see schools in other places that are historically good get back to the top, and that's because they don't have the money to compete. But yeah, I'm just gonna play this real quick, see where it goes. And how did it make them better? How did they director? People look at a football.
I think he's going to continue to be a great athletic director, and hopefully they'll provide him, with the proper.
Obviously, when people look at a football coach, even just a successful program, obviously you look, okay, you need the players, but people don't really look at the adults that, really feed into it. And yourself, talk about the athletic director. Some of your coaches have, Tyler, I think, got a job at Mary Star, his alma mater. Like, what was that experience like for your assistant coaches? And how did it make them better? How did they kind of just learn through the grind of what that experience was?
Yeah, I think, anytime you're a coach with aspirations to coach on the next level, I think any experience like in any season is going to be beneficial to you. Congratulations to Tyler Sestich. Well deserved. I'm glad he's got. I think he learned a lot in regards to being a head coach or a leader of a program, being around us. I've had some great coaches with me throughout my coaching career. I think you know that. Like Coach Weston, who's been with me from the beginning. That's like my brother. And I get frustrated, to be honest with you. Coaches that have aspirations and they learn a lot. They take a lot. A lot of the experience they get from us. They don't pay anything. They don't give me any. I don't get a piece of his salary, but they take notes. And especially being in an environment like Lawndale, where the head coach has to wear many hats, you learn how to do it on every level. And a lot of coaches have left kind of my coop, my nest, and flown out and gotten jobs. Al Steen was the head coach of Lusinger. Tyler Sessions now is the head coach. We've got a lot of former coaches all over the place, which I'm very proud of, because I think that's a part of being a head coach. You want your coaches to grow and blossom and to do the things that they want to do in this coaching world. But it is frustrating for them, especially with some of the things that we were dealing with last year. If I'm stressed, my coaching staff is stressed. If I'm feeling good, my coaching staff is feeling good. So they were under a lot of stress. They had to step up a lot because a lot of times I was not on campus. So they would have to kind of hold down the fort until I got there. So there was a lot of things I kind of slipped through the cracks. But I do think that it was good for them, like Tyler, beneficial because they learned a lot, and I think it's gonna do them well occupations at the moment. So kudos to those guys. Thank you to all the coaches that have coached with me. But I wish some of those guys would give me a little bit more credit on what the things that they learned in terms of how to be a really good coach under our tutelage.
And some players came over here with you. Most notably, running back Deuce Weston. Now, didn't he have an offer from Kansas before? How was his recruiting process altered because of everything that happened this past year?
Oh, it's been tremendously altered. You got to think, I'm not on campus, so when the guys coming over in the spring, I'm over in the classroom at Lusinger High School. And scouts were coming over to see me in Lusinger High School classroom, but they're not getting their eyes on my athletes over at Lawndale. Because once they leave Lusinger, instead of going to Lawndale, because I'm not there, they're off to Sarah, or they're off to Narbonne, or they're off down the road to Modern Day. I think it affected them tremendously. Obviously me not being there, coaches not having an opportunity to go see him. It was tough on him, and I think it's still tough on him. Thank God those guys, a couple of those guys selected the right school. They got here before I got here. I guess they have some great premonition. The fact that they arrived on campus, and I was able to get the same job, here at Long Beach Wilson. We're just excited. I want to make sure that Deuce has an opportunity to play at the college of his dreams. I think this league is going to benefit him. I think he's going to do some tremendous things in this league. I think there are going to be some people that are going to get a chance to be introduced to him and see what type of special football player he is. He's a better person than he is a football player, but people will be able to see how good of a football player he is on this stage. And before it's all said and done, he'll have an opportunity that I think he'll really cherish. But obviously last year was real difficult because I was not on campus and coaches wanted to see him. But the UCLA, we can talk about all the big programs trying to get over to see him, but I'm on Lusinger's campus, and just to work those logistics out was very difficult. So with that move, it just tells you how negatively it affected people's lives. When you're talking about high school football, you're talking about college football, and you're talking about kids getting opportunities to go to college free, or to college on a scholarship, or to have an opportunity to get an education. Let me put it in layman's terms. To get an education for free, because many of us in our communities can't afford an education, right? Many of us that did go to college are still in debt, to college. So when you have an opportunity to go to college on someone else's dime because you're a good athlete, I think that's a positive thing. I don't think it's a negative thing because you've got to be a good student, you've got to be a good person off the field to attain that scholarship. So I really believe we have altered, and I'm talking about several young men's lives because of the turmoil that I went through last year at Lawndale. Unfortunately, some of our lives have been altered, and hopefully they're going to be salvaged because hopefully those kids will get the message of never quit, always continue to finish whatever you start. But it's very, very difficult because for me to think about, because I know how many lives that we altered by not allowing me to. Very, very, very disappointing.
And when you look back on that time, obviously, everything that was done to you, everything that wasn't done to help you, and the district itself, did they ever give an apology? Did they ever bring your kids in, talk to the athletic director, anybody, and let you know, like, sorry that your coach was inconvenienced? And what was that like?
Not to my understanding, that never happened. When I addressed it with the district, I was told that that wasn't their concern. That's not their concern. My priority is to be a teacher, and that was the only thing that they were concerned about. I would just have to figure out the football part, and that was difficult for me to swallow because I was only on that campus because I'm a great football coach. I'm a teacher because I love kids, and so for 99% of teachers across the country, I think that is their priority. But for Travis Clark, because I think there are exceptions to all rules, I think for Travis Clark, I think I'm the exception. I think obviously teaching in the classroom is of the utmost importance. However, the things that I do on a football field, teaching the kids things that are happening outside the classroom, which many of us live our lives outside of the classroom as adults, I think we're maybe a little bit more valuable in certain instances for those kids than maybe some things that they learn inside the classroom. And in terms of helping kids go to college, we can bring up every program on Lawndale, Lusinger, or Hawthorne's campuses. We can bring up ASB. We can bring up any other athletic department, academies. I don't think any of them were sending people to college like we were at Lawndale on the football program. Those kids have been very successful, as you already know. We're talking about guys that are still playing football in the National Football League right now. Guys are Heisman Trophy candidates. I mean, guys have graduated. We have kids graduated from USC right now, from Lawndale, graduated from the University of Washington, graduating from the University of Kansas. I mean, it's just an exciting situation to see the remnants of what we accomplished over there at 405 High, and to see the accomplishments of those kids that thought that they would never have a chance to go to college, walking across stages with college degrees. It's just an amazing feeling. So the proof is in the pudding. You know what I mean? We've changed lives, and the fact that they kind of took the power of us changing lives was a very unfortunate situation. I hope they can stabilize and recover, but losing a person like myself and my coaching staff is going to be devastating to their football program. Take them some time to recover. You can be Chris Murray over there. You can have 10 Chris Murrays on the coaching staff. You can have 100 BJs, who I love, all my kids, but it's never going to equate to what we brought to that table, because those kids wouldn't be who they were if I had never shown up on that campus. So I hope it recovers. There's a part of me that's like, hey, I'm not really concerned if they're successful or not, but I'm always going to have love for Lawndale High School. They gave me an opportunity to do some great things. Gave me the keys, and those parents and families entrusted me with their children. I'm always going to have love for them, especially those that I coach. You can never take those experiences away. Now, moving forward, not even thinking about Lawndale at the moment. I'm trying to build a culture here. Excited about this great opportunity we have here at Long Beach Wilson. I still got Coach Weston, as you see. I got my brother, Coach Deshaun Jackson, in the next room. So we got some excitement. Our kids have been blessed to have these men around them. So we're going to try to duplicate, maybe take it up a notch over here at Long Beach Wilson.
For sure. And one last. All right. Said a lot was said from Coach Travis Clark about his time at Londale and how things ended abruptly. I actually skipped in ahead, like it had like 10 minutes into that interview to play that little snippet. So the interview will be out tomorrow. I have an article up next week. You guys can, go back and look at some of the nuggets, and then I'll have a whole list of every interview I've done with Coach Clark, dating back to his time at Lawndale, the season before he said, "Yeah, we're going to win a state championship," and then they went out and did it. Some of those guys are still in college right now. Like Jalen Daniels is a Heisman Trophy potential candidate at Kansas. He just has to stay healthy. NFL prospect. Only been playing quarterback 5 years, 6 years. And I played some of the stuff he talked about at Big 12 Media Day. Got some more stuff, some more interviews and stuff that I'm going to drop because we're about 2 weeks away from the season starting. So, yeah, man. That's it for that high school football stuff. Glad we were able to get that out the way. And just some quick college football notes. So Jim Harbaugh was supposed to be coming back to Ann Arbor to be honored as a captain for a game. Yeah, they nixed that shit. It's not happening. It's no longer, his ceremony was taken away. It's no longer happening. Especially after, the reports came out like, oh, you guys did some scrupulous things and it's not looking too great for Michigan. Looking like they're going to try to punish Michigan and, Sherrone Moore for everything that happened under Coach Harbaugh. So we'll see how that goes. But, yeah, he will no longer be honored, which is interesting because, how many head coaches at Michigan have won national championships? Pete? Can you name two?
I'm not even listening to what you're saying.
I know you weren't. That's why I was just asking for the sake of conversation.
Go ahead, continue.
All right, and lastly, the College Football Playoff Committee says conference championships will not be a tiebreaker. Heard that. Everyone who's thinking that probably is going, "What the fuck, bro?" It's kind of wild that you can win your conference championship, but it won't be seen as a tiebreaker. The CFB. So good luck to Boise State, the Mountain West, to anybody not outside of those, not anybody who's not in the SEC, Big Ten, or what's the other one, the Big 12. If you're not in those three conferences, and you have a conference champion, they might get passed up by a 3-loss team in one of those other divisions. So good luck. Godspeed. And yeah, I want to take your tangent.
All right, so first up, the Patriots traded Matthew Judon to the Falcons for a third-rounder today. Take your tangent, Kenny.
It's interesting because I don't know if it was a pay discrepancy, but Judon and got kicked out of practice by Gerard Mayo. They had words and they talked. I guess they said it was good. Maybe he wanted to get paid. He's had 12 sacks the last couple of years, last 2 out of 3 years. Former Baltimore Raven. One of the best players on that defense. And maybe, it was a situation where a veteran who wanted to win now is demanding things from a rookie head coach and a rookie offense that they just can't deliver on. So he got traded to a potential contender, and now you hot shot the Atlanta Falcons pass rush. He's literally their best pass rusher. Him and Grady Jarrett are going to play off each other really great. And Braylon Trice, guess we'll just combine headlines here. Braylon Trice was a 3rd-round pick for the Falcons out of Washington. Really great player. Unfortunately, tore his ACL in his first preseason game, so he's out for the year. He was actually going to be a starter, at edge. So now you got Matthew Judon, I think Lorenzo Carter, and a couple other kind of guys in there. And then it's crazy. Their linebacker room is stacked. Troy Anderson might be coming off the bench, and Raheem Morris already said he's an NFL player. So it's to have that much talent at linebacker, I don't know I mean, I'm pretty sure they're going to run it strictly a 3-4. It's not going to be like a 4-4 situation, or they're going to find a way to get Troy Anderson on the field. He's too talented, and I'm still mad the Raiders passed on him. You know, with 4-4-2 speed, hitting everything that moves and playing well in coverage. But no, you wanted Robert Spillane. Anyway, yeah, next one.
All right, RG3 fired from ESPN. Christian Ponder's wife, Sam Ponder, also talent for the network, was also let go.
They
social media kind of went rampant with speculation, but
yeah, a lot of speculation that was probably unfair. Infidelity speculation. We know RG3 loves his white women, so and RG3 was definitely a better player than Christian Ponder was, but that's still kind of like foul. But he made light of it. He's like, you know, how you get fired on your day off. Also, you know, he thanked ESPN for everything. He was honestly so popular. He was more popular than his position and what they had him doing. He's a great college football color commentator. I don't think his salary was that big, but like, I don't see how you get rid of a guy that good. But, you know, sometimes when you're a black dude kind of buck dancing and making excuses for white people in media, they cut you first. And we're not going to act like RG3 wasn't doing that, because he has been, like most of his playing career. And hell, all the women he has kids with are white. So, like, for that regard, I'm not shocked. But I'm really shocked that they cut a dude this talented. Like, maybe he goes to Fox. Hell, maybe it's a NFL Network. You never know. But, like, the dude's way too talented to, like, not be employed. And I just kind of, with all the people on TV who suck, I, like, enjoy watching RG3 call games. Because he's hilarious. He fourth walls it. You know, him and Booger play off each other. Like, he says things where it's like, I can't believe you just said that on national television. And technically, it's legally within bounds, so legal can't sue you. But, like, I don't know how you get rid of it. I like that. I think it was a mistake, but they said it was budget cuts, which is crazy. When you gross that much money a year and you're firing people. But I also recently, he did speak out on Florida State's behalf. He was jokingly talking about EA Sports college football playoff. He's like, I won a national title with Baylor, and Florida State still got hosed again by the CFP. And if you know anything about the CFP and all that, there's already allegations and rumors and people who have facts that they reported and ran with that ESPN pretty much knew Florida State was going to get fucked. That's why they weren't in that graphic before they did that. They knew like the fix was already in on Florida State before the college football. As soon as Jordan Travis pretty much broke his leg, it was like allegedly ESPN, CFP, other people pretty much were colluding against them. That's pretty much what pissed Florida State off to just go off all off season. That's not conjecture. That's not me making it up. You can just literally go find all that content and all the people yelling about it. Was there another one? Or was that it for Take Your Tangent?
There's one more. Nick Harris traded back to the Browns after the Browns backup center broke his ankle.
Yeah, so the center out of Cincinnati, Luke Wylon or something like that, broke his ankle. And he was like, because Nick Harris kept getting hurt when he came out of Washington. He was supposed to be the heir apparent to J.C. Treader. That didn't work, so they ended up going with Ethan Pokic, former Seahawks center. Then the Seahawks signed Connor Williams. So now you don't need Nick Harris. Trade Nick Harris back to the Browns because, well, that's where he played. That's where he was originally, you know, as a Browns player. He's like, I'm just happy to have a job. And now he pretty much going to be the starting center with all these injuries to these Brown players, or at least a good backup. I mean, hell, he played fullback at times for Cleveland. Imagine Nick Harris at fullback. That's a frightening sight when you really think about it. He's a feisty little motherfucker. I'm probably taller than Nick Harris. Pretty sure. But he's a shit brick house for his size. So, good for him that he's back in Cleveland with, you know, employed and having a chance to make some plays. Because that Cleveland O-line's been hit with a lot of injuries.
Yeah, so Only thing I'll say about these three is I feel like the Falcons are for real. We'll talk a little bit more about it in the next segment, but at the end of the day, man, if you're a fan of a team, you want to be a fan of an organization that's not afraid to take chances. And I think the Falcons are proving that this offseason.
Come to Atlanta.
And I'm excited to see what they do in the NFC. And then, yeah, that Nick Harris getting traded back and forth is pretty crazy. I don't know if I've ever seen anything like that happen that quick.
He left as a free agent to go to Seattle and then got traded back. That's crazy work.
All right, so moving on to touchdown or turnover. Let me find the drop.
Pew, 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 pew.
As I alluded to before, the Falcons signed Justin Simmons to a 1-year, $8 million deal. The signing came just after the Judon announcement. So
$7.5 million
touchdown or
guaranteed.
turnover.
That's a touchdown on both sides. He got money for a year, what he wanted, and now the Falcons might have the best team in the NFC, arguably. At least. They got all-pro corner, really good second-tier corners, really good linebackers. They finally got a pass rusher now in Judon. NFC South is kind of shaky. The Buccaneers' O-line is kind of shaky. And now you put the two best safeties, arguably, in football back there. You have Justin Simmons and Jesse Bates. Both can do the same thing, can lock up. They can literally do everything. That's kind of crazy that the NFL just NFL teams just let that happen. Like, the Falcons are not fucking around. I told you, I said when they started piecing things together, even though Rondale Moore's out for the year, I think with an injury, they still have a lot of talent, a lot of young talent. That O-line is fixed. I mean, the riskiest thing they did was Kirk Cousins and Michael Penix Jr., but really, if either one works out, you look great, and he could win GM of the year. Terry Fontenot, he could win GM of the year if things go great for the Falcons. If that defense pulls together, you got Grady Jarrett, you got a lot of veterans on that defense. AJ Terrell. By the way, Kevin King is on the Falcons. He's still on the team.
Interesting.
Former Oakland, legend. Oakland school football legend and, Washington Husky. So salute to him. He's wearing 32, which was Jalen Collins' number. Apparently, if you wear 32 for the Falcons as a corner, it's not the best. I mean, he got picked on a lot in that Super Bowl, but it is what it is. Maybe this is like payback for, 28-3. They will give you Judon, you give us a third-round pick back. All they got was a third-round pick, and I'm pretty sure they got the bread to restructure Judon's contract. And I'm still shocked that, Hassan Riddick, literally just says, I'm not showing up to Jets camp. I'm holding out. I need a new contract. That's crazy.
I feel like this is his third time holding out, too.
Yeah, because Cats don't want to pay him, but it's he's been one of the best players in the league. How do you not want to pay him? It's being cheap.
Yep.
And he's not even 30 yet. I don't think he is. Or he's right at 30. But he's he's still fresh in the legs. He's still an elite pass rusher. It's crazy. Guy was a fucking cornerback as a freshman in college. He was a corner. He came into college as a corner.
Yeah, man. I like the Justin Simmons move again just because, like I said, they're rolling the dice. But we'll see what they end up doing. Next one is the Cowboys signed Carl Lawson. Touchdown or turnover?
Touchdown. You can never have enough pass rushers, especially veteran guys. And I feel like they're probably not going to be rushing Michael Parsons off the edge as much.
You think so?
I mean, you got DeMarcus Lawrence, you got Carl Lawson. Dan Williams is out. But you got other D linemen. You got a lot of linebackers. They're loaded at linebacker, low-key. Deshaun Overshawn, he tore his ACL last year, and he was damn near going to be a starter. He had a 4.51 coming out of college, come out for Texas. He can cover and hit. You got Kendricks at linebacker, who's been sitting out because of a sore back, but you got Kendricks, Parson, then they got the dude from FAMU who went from safety to linebacker. It was like 94 speed in Madden. That shit's crazy. I'm forgetting his name right now. He was a safety, and they moved him to linebacker. But, like, that, it's an excellent.
It's a low risk, high reward. I'll say it's a touchdown, too. Might as well. Doesn't hurt.
Just, apparently. I don't think the rumors about people saying Jerry's lost his fucking mind after what he said about CeeDee Lamb, like, no, you need CeeDee Lamb. You actually need CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons for your.
I don't think he's losing his mind. I think he's just cheating.
No, I mean, like,
negotiating.
Not like losing his mind like Al Davis was, but like the ego has fully taken over.
For sure.
Where it's like, bro, this isn't, you don't just get an Emmitt Smith. You don't just get a Michael Irvin. You don't just get a fucking CeeDee Lamb, bro. You fell into the right circumstances and got, like, you shouldn't even had Micah Parsons. The Niners could have took Micah Parsons and not Trey Lance, and we are living in a totally different reality.
For sure. All right, moving on. The Cowboys also traded for Jordan Phillips. They sent a 7th rounder. They sent a 6th rounder to the Giants to get Phillips, and also received a 7th round pick. Touchdown or turnover.
Another touchdown. Fortify your defensive line, and you won't regret it come January.
I don't know, man. Phillips is one of those dudes who's never, like, really stuck as a full-time starter, but he's good for 20 to 30 reps a game. Like, he's going to give you a solid 20 to 30. And he's played multiple schemes, multiple positions, big as shit, sleeper athlete. So, yeah, I think it's a good move. Probably take Jonathan Hankins' spot.
There you go.
The Browns extended linebacker Owusu Koramoah.
Jeremiah.
3-year deal up to $40 million with 25 guaranteed touchdown or turnover.
I forgot about that one. Yeah, that's a touchdown. He's actually one of the best coverage linebackers in the league, and the Raiders passed on him. I'm so angry. The one time I wanted them to draft a Notre Dame linebacker, they don't do it.
I feel like it's a touchdown.
He's a young star.
I feel like it's a touchdown just because, like, over the last, 3 to 5 years, I feel like that Browns defense has had a lot of turnover. I feel like even when they get good draft picks and good guys, like, they end up leaving. Free agents end up not panning out. And I feel like other than Myles Garrett, you need somebody stable there, and I feel like this move works towards that.
Yeah, their whole he's like a linchpin of their defense. Him, Denzel Ward, Myles Garrett. They got some other guys.
All right. CBS announced that Nickelodeon will now broadcast a wild card game in their, slime format, cartoon format. So touchdown or turnover.
Of course, it's a touchdown. It's for the kids.
Yeah, it's a touchdown.
Brilliant marketing.
Only because, honestly, wild card games are, like, usually the best games, like, of the whole year.
Most unpredictable.
Because, yeah, once you get to the divisional round, it's like the teams with the buys usually end up dominating. And or, during the regular season, it's hit or miss. But wild card is like, it's hit or miss. Like you said, it's unpredictable, but you're more than likely going to get a good game, even though we've had some blowouts the past couple of years. But I feel like it's a good entry point for the kids, as you mentioned. All right. I got like one more. We got a Colin Kaepernick sighting.
Oh my God.
Kaepernick said he's interested in playing flag football. Chargers Jim Harbaugh also confirmed that he offered him a job on his coaching staff. So touchdown or turnover. Kaepernick being around the football once again.
Fair, and honestly, the way that horrible ass tackle football team played, yeah, I'd rather have him at QB because there's no way he's not taking a read option 80 yards to the house against those bums. Yeah, she would like to. I'd like to see a lot of retired NFL players say, you know what, we're gonna go play for this country, tackle football. Please do that next time because I don't know what the fuck those bums were doing out there, losing to Canada and China and everybody else. That shit's disgraceful. And don't send star players to go do flag football. No, send all these crazy ass. Go send Kevin Dockery. Or go send ISO Speed. All these crazy ass athletes who are influencers. Go out there and let them just cook people. Bro, Destroying's injured, actually. I'll take that back. I'm sorry. He broke his neck. Hopefully he actually can play football again.
I wonder what Kaepernick was going to do for the Chargers. Like, I don't think he'd be a full QB coach, so maybe a QB assistant.
Quality coach, maybe?
I feel like it'd be interesting to see him be a coach just because, like we've always talked about on this podcast, like, be the change you don't see, you know? I feel like...
Instead of trying to constantly make the change yourself.
Yeah, like, just start somewhere small. Like, I don't know. I feel like Kaepernick's still waiting for that big aha moment, but it's like the moment's already been long past.
I don't know if he's doing it on purpose, just to fuck with racists, or if he, like, somewhere in his head still thinks, like, I still want a shot. Like, bro, Eric Reed was actually, like, an all-pro safety damn near. He was actually really good. He got kicked out the league, which is bullshit. He should have been on several teams. He was still a great player. And now you look at everybody doing what they do for causes, and it's like, bro, why did we throw these people away? Why did we throw Chad Johnson away? Why did we throw Terrell Owens away?
Yeah, so, I mean, even those, and to go back to the flag football, I feel like even those guys could dominate for Team USA. I mean, I feel like
Gio would fucking cook.
I feel like even old washed Michael Vick would be better than whatever we put out there.
Shit, Mike Vick and Kaepernick can be the two QBs, bro. They could just put together the game plan. You know what the game plan is? Throw it to T.O. Throw it to Chad Johnson.
And if your first read's not there, then run.
No, I don't think they can run. I mean, if
you can.
If they can run in flag football?
Yeah, just after a certain amount of time.
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah, after a couple seconds. It's like
that feels like cheating.
7 Mississippis, but then the defense can rush.
But that still feels like cheating.
But, yeah.
I get that the defense can rush, but it's like, no, you're the QB. Like, if you just ran down the field, we would literally do that every time out. I would just put my best athlete at QB and just say, all right, take off and run, motherfucker. Like, that's cheesing.
I think everybody's eligible, too.
That's crazy. I better see, like, some former offensive linemen with insane 40s out there. I want to see what Jason Spriggs can do.
Yikes.
Bruce Campbell.
Yikes.
Oh, actually, didn't he get slept in a supermarket? Didn't he get beat the fuck up at a supermarket?
Did he?
Was it a Walmart? Was that him?
That's random.
A former Raider got beat the dog shit beat out of him, bro. It was bad. That man got cooked.
All right, last one. Fair or fade. Nipsey Hussle's brother, Black Sam, does an interview with Big Boy. It's his first time publicly speaking on the death of his younger brother. Fair or fade? I didn't see this, so this one's all you.
I watched the whole thing, teared up a little bit a couple times because it's just like, pray to God every day nothing like that happens to somebody I care about because I'm crashing out. Like, fuck touchdowns and tangents, fuck all this shit. I'm massacring a lot of people behind people I really care about. In particular, my nephew, but I've already stated that. Like, motherfuckers already know. Like, you touch Isaiah, everyone you love dies. Your mailman, everybody. I don't care if I go to hell afterwards either. Like, there's no talking me off that ledge. So hearing him talk about his brother getting choked up and then not fully expounding on the politics of LA gang life and all that shit, and me understanding what he's saying without him saying it, it just left me with more questions, and it left me really, like, angry because it's like, bro, he said it in the interview. He said proper protocol was not followed that day, and I still don't know why. It's a person at the store with a gun. It's a person at the car who meets Nipsey in a parking lot with a pistol on him, and that protocol was not followed. He was working overnight. He was covering somebody's day off. He was exhausted. He was going to go home, and he found out his brother shot. He's the one performing CPR on his brother who's dying. Owlboy and all these other cats who were around Nip, who just magically got out of jail a couple days before, and now he's hanging under Big U. Pretty much, people in LA, especially if you understand gang politics, you know Nipsey was murdered. That shit was a hit. Now, we don't know who did what, but when Whack 100 and all these other people who are directly tied with all these people who do business have something to say and keep saying it and keep alluding to shit. Like, sometimes people you don't like are right. But also, it's like, well, what good is that now? Because the man's dead. But I'm just glad his brother, he's still doing the Marathon store. It's Marathon Rooftop. They moved to, it looked like there's way more security, and they got gates and shit. But they showed, so they got a boutique store, and they're going to open at the end of the year. So I'm glad the Marathon is still continuing, which is fucked up because Black Sam also said in an interview that the Marathon ended for me when my brother died. My brother was murdered. Like, the Marathon can't continue because Nip ain't here. But when people tell me the Marathon continues and thank you, he said that shit does something to my heart.
But that's why I feel like, I feel that only because I feel like that whole area has just kind of been directionless. But I feel like that was Nipsey's whole thing is it starts with me, but it's not just me. It's my people's. It's my community. It's, my environment that I'm also trying to improve. So I feel like, well, I understand, the grief, and I probably feel the same way at the same time. You got to just kind of find ways to push through that because I feel like, that visionary, there's still that void left. Nobody stepped up, filled it.
But
nobody really can. Should be truthful, but
if they keep killing people,
I feel like nobody's even really tried.
I think people are doing their own thing in secrecy, and especially if you're a black business owner in LA, you really can't be out there because they've notoriously killed black business owners in LA. Several of them, actually.
All right, Michael Rubin, fair or fade? Talk about that because I have no idea.
This shit is a fade, and it's so disrespectful that somebody should call him out on national television about that. I don't think they push back hard enough. This white Jewish billionaire dude came out and said everything he hated about the black community and talked about Meek Mill. First off, fuck Meek Mill's bum ass. Secondly, I don't get to go on national television and say all the things I hate about Jewish people. I don't like about what Jewish people do to black people. I could go way before Jerry Heller. I can go back to the first slave quarters started on this continent. But black people don't sit around talking about other groups like that. But yet every time I turn around, I see somebody opening their mouth having something slick to say about black folks. When you eat off what we do. And I just know, Michael Rubin as a white Jewish billionaire can go on TV and say that shit about black people. But if Oprah and Tyler Perry came out and said, all right, we're going to have a round table and talk about what we don't like about the Jewish community or any other community, watch how fast we would get quote unquote canceled. People would have their livelihoods taken. And if you know anything about the steps to Nazi Germany and all the books and all the propaganda and shit, people talk about you first. They whisper about you. They talk about you in their homes. And then the last thing they do is talk about you in the media and talk down and dirty about you. And I don't like the shit I'm seeing. And I just think white people are too comfortable talking shit about black people publicly, and there's no retribution for it. I just think that was trash. I think he should have shut his fucking mouth. You should have never said anything. That wasn't your place. And guess what? If you felt that way, you probably could have found a black person to say it.
Right. So a few weeks ago, Ice Cube challenged the winner of the 3-on-3 in the Olympics to face the Big Three All-Star team. I think it was Netherlands or Sweden, one of those teams.
Bum-ass Netherlands.
They ended up winning. They accepted the challenge, and now pretty much FIBA is blocking it. So fair or fade, Kenny?
FIBA's are bitches anyway. Let's be honest. It's all a racket, and the Netherlands will get smoked by Joe Johnson and whoever else Joe Johnson's bringing with him. It's cats who didn't make it to the league who would cook the Netherlands. Let's be real. That was a bullshit roster. I don't know who picked it. It was just bad all the way around. If America's not going to be competitive in 3-on-3s, we should stop sending people the same way we're not going to have any more breakdancing because of that dumbass Australian white bitch. sorry, but like she needs to get punched in the face. I've had it up to here with Australia.
I didn't even see that.
Oh yeah,
I heard everyone talk about it, but I didn't really know what people were
memes,
talking about.
bro. This bitch wrote like she got a PhD in cultural studies, so I guess she finessed that into getting picked to be the fucking break dancer. The bitch did the kangaroo hop, dog.
Jeez,
She did the fucking like my 3-year-old nephew dances better than that.
that's what everyone was saying.
Like it was little kids out here breakdancing in the street on trains and shit. So I'm like, this thing is a joke, and you literally just bastardized something that black people created and brought to the forefront. Now nobody can, like the medal winners. They're not even talking about the medal winners. They're talking about this trash ass bitch. Like,
So
Australia sucks for like 3 reasons: spiders, all those gross ass animals that are way too big, Iggy Azalea, and now this bitch. I'm cool on Australia. Oh yeah, and Josh Giddey's weird ass. His weird case having ass. You could just quarantine off Australia forever. Let them get their karma for killing off all the natives. By the way, too.
yeah, so I'm just gonna say this. I agree with most of what you're saying, especially about how we need to win a competition of a sport that we created, both breakdancing and both 3-on-3 hoops. And I'll add, Big 3 is a fucking gem, bro. Like, literally a diamond in the rough. Ice Cube has got no support from anybody. Not the fucking NBA, not the fucking government, not none of these fucking venues where he's done shows and stuff like that. They literally took a season off because of COVID. I think they took a year off, too, like last year to organize. And
the lawsuit, remember?
Yeah. And guess what? They're still here. They're still back. They're still putting more people in the seats than probably about 80% of the WNBA.
Summer League, too.
I don't know about that. But, and then also, no one was going to give Ice Cube a shot at ownership. The best case, he was going to be a face. He maybe get 1% of the Raiders or Lakers or some shit. Just, hey,
Jay-Z type shit.
Be a face sort of thing. So what did he do? He not only created a chance of ownership, but he created a whole league, and he's empowering these players that still have competitive juices to continue to play and live their dream. And the tickets are so cheap. He's engaging the community and allowing them to see basketball in a new and fun way. And, oh, yeah, he's also a hip-hop legend that brings elements of hip-hop into this whole performance and experience. Like, the Big 3 is a fucking beautiful thing. Like, I've only been to one game, and it was in Miami, but it was a great experience. And everyone that I've heard says nothing but good things. Like, even the trolls in comments about the Big 3 say positive things about Ice Cube and about the Big 3. So, yeah, man, I don't know. I think it's fucked up how FIBA's going against him. He's already taken on the NBA. He's already taken on all these agents. He just continues to strive, continues to prosper. And, yeah, man, just let this shit happen. If anything, it's going to bring more exposure to the Olympic competition. It's going to bring more exposure on a global stage for the Big 3. And if not, if anything, like maybe they need to take their show over there because, we need more things like the Big 3. Like why can't we have I hate even comparing it to the Globetrotters because it's such a more competitive environment and it's so much, more relevant and innovative. But regardless, the point is, like, the Harlem Globetrotters and the Big 3 can still exist. These monster truck shows and the Big 3 can still exist. Like, there's no reason why
funny car racing,
the international fucking Big 3 association needs to shit on the Big 3 because, like, realistically, the only reason why we even know what 3-on-3 basketball looks like is because of the Big 3 when they started doing this fucking 7-8 years ago. So just give them their props. Let them have their little all-star game. Let us get the clips on social media. And everybody fucking wins. Like, let's make bread. Like, what are we fucking talking about, FIBA? Fuck you.
Racism and because a black person.
That's why players don't want to play in the fucking World Cup of basketball.
Don't call it
because FIBA's bullshit.
Don't call it the World Cup of basketball.
That's what it's called.
It's disrespectful to the World Cup, though.
Yeah, but that's what it's called.
We suck at soccer, men's soccer. We don't get to say that. The women's team won the gold. Like, the men's team been hella trash. We should probably just discontinue soccer in America. Like, just make it a club sport, bro.
Well, the women won gold for the first time in like 3 Olympics.
12 years, yeah. But I'm saying the men's team.
They won bronze last time out, and then the year before, I think they won silver, and then.
Salute to Dennis Rodman's daughter.
Then they got eliminated the year before that or something.
Salute to Dennis Rodman's daughter, and I think her name is Marlene. Like
is that why Rodman's having a resurgence?
Dennis Rodman's daughter is one of the best players on the team, if not the best.
Oh, that's why I'm seeing his merch everywhere and shit. Because I've been noticing like a lot like, you know, just graphic tees that are Rodman, more Rodman jerseys. Like I'm just seeing a lot.
It's her.
Yeah, that's good.
And his son plays at USC still, I guess. But
damn, that's crazy. This crazy motherfucker Dennis Rodman had better athletic kids than half of you fucking star athletes.
Michael,
that's crazy.
His bum ass coke sniffing son. How you sniffing coke next to watermelon around white people? I hate that, bro. Some people don't deserve the success that they're given. I'm sorry, they just don't. Like you just get resources. You're just the son. Like nothing pisses me off when I see rich kids just fucking up.
Speaking of that. Will Levis's Mayo cologne, fair or fade?
Wait, what?
Will Levis is now getting a cologne that smells like mayo. Fair or
Show's
fade?
over. I'm done. What the fuck is this? I fucking forfeit my time. What the fuck? Don't you just... What? I'm going to invent a slur. I'm going to stop talking.
So if someone sent you a full fucking gift pack of the Will Levis cologne that smelled like mayo...
I'd kill their whole fucking family and record it.
What if they gave you like 10 G's? To be a sponsor, but you had to wear it.
Wait, well, I had to wear it? Hold on.
I'm not saying you have to wear it every day, but you have to wear it at some point.
I'll do a TV spot with it, but I'm not wearing it.
What happens if you wore it and you just got mad females? Like you were just surprised. Like you were just out in these streets.
I'm a great salesman.
Just pulling numbers off wearing this fucking male cologne.
But you gotta understand.
But you hated it, and you hated yourself for wearing it. But for some reason,
more than 10K.
For some reason, it just was a fucking aphrodisiac for women.
I need 100K, and I'll promote the shit out of it. But I get creative control on how we're promoting shit. It's your bum ass product, but I'm promoting it to the everyday man. So like, and I'm a big dude. So like, me promoting mayonnaise cologne to fat people. I'm kind of the perfect person. So it's actually a great pitch. And again, I have no problem talking to beautiful women. I'm not like, so if you just give me that cologne and I'm already funny and engaging, well, like shit, that might spark a whole nother podcast.
All right. So there was someone on the Rams. I can't think of off the top of my head, but he tore his tricep and he's out for a while.
I thought you were going to talk about Albert. I thought you were going to talk about Albert Huggins, the Cowboys D tackle who pushed that intern.
I don't know.
That was fucked up. Go watch the video.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
Launched that dude.
Mike Milano's out for the year with 2 torn biceps.
Wait, he tore 2 of them? He tore both of them?
That's what it says,
I thought he just tore one, hitting a bag.
Or maybe it's one and he tore both of them. He tore on the one arm.
He tore one last year.
So, fair or fade?
I already talked about that. We talked about that.
But I was just going to say, fair or fade being out with a arm injury.
I mean... I guess he'll still get paid. He's going to make the roster.
I'm going to say it's a fade for this, bro.
Everybody blowing their biceps.
We're at the point where, like, motherfuckers are coming back from ACL, which was once a career-ending injury 40 years ago. Now people are coming back in 9 months. Achilles, we got fucking Aaron Rodgers coming back in a year for an injury that was once at least 18 months out, if not done, especially at that age. So with all these advancements, like, nobody studies the arms? Like, nobody knows how to fix a torn bicep or tricep? Like,
soft tissue, bro.
Well, the other thing is it connects with so much. So it connects with your elbow and it goes into your shoulder. So if it's fucked up, like, You're gonna feel it with anything you do. With
you could tear your bicep and fuck your back up at the same time, which is crazy.
So I mean, I get why it's a debilitating injury and why you need to be out the year. I'm just saying, like, I feel like why isn't there more like sports medicine effort towards that? I know it doesn't happen quite as much, but I feel like it's happening enough to where it's like maybe we should study this shit a little bit better.
There is, and I think we just ignore the keys. Like, we make fun of kinesiology majors. Let's be honest. We did. We all made fun of kinesiology majors.
Well, kinesiology majors aren't doing the study unless they go pre-med, and then maybe they're doing it.
Exactly, but we made fun of them, and they were, like, talking about these injuries.
Yeah, for sure.
We're talking with their doctor friends or medical friends, like, yeah. There's a reason why we don't want you bench pressing 700 pounds. Because look at what happens to bodybuilders. Like, we're starting to, I think, as a country, we're starting to reassess the way we see muscle fitness. And it's like, you don't need to be super freakishly fucking strong. But if you're going to pop your pec, it's probably because you either weren't lifting or just weren't, I don't know, like, I've never had, like, an arm injury. When I played football, I had a bunch of leg injuries. Shit that I'm like, how did I walk away from this? But like, and then my fingers are fucked
that's
up.
What I don't, that's what I don't understand too. Like,
how do you tear your bicep?
Like, is it over exertion? Like, you're just doing too much curls? Is it just like a genetic defect? Like, one of your arms are not, properly length? Is it, like the way you're training them that, one is stronger than the other? Is it technique? Like, I just don't know how any of that shit happens. Because for me, I mean,
it has to be overexertion. Because like, old boy popped his pec hitting a fucking bag. Nobody touched you like that.
Yeah.
Like, if I pop my pec in a non-football way, I'd be so mad. Let me get injured because I got my arm rolled up.
Then let me bench 800 pounds and then tore my pec.
Then somebody hits me with a high five and my shit just snaps. I was like, You get the 800 on... Yes, we got the 800 on video. Did you get audio too? Yes, we did. All right, cool. Somebody stitch my fucking arm back together.
All right, man. So that takes us to our rants. Anything you didn't get to say, you want to leave the people with, just reflect on your week. It's the time.
I'm just grinding through the dog days of summer. This is a very interesting summer. This might have been one of the best summers in recent years just because, like, just persisting through bullshit. But shout out to my nephew. He had to get emergency dental surgery. Fuck that dental office, though, for charging $570 to pull teeth and anesthesia. That's wild to me. But then you don't take the insurance, even though the kid has insurance. But, hey, it is what it is. You'll get your comeuppance if you fucked us over out of $500. We'll find out. I will Yelp review that shit. I have time, and I'm a very petty human being. All right. Yeah, he pretty much took the anesthesia, and they had to give him more, and he thugged it out. When they stuck him in the mouth, he didn't even cry. He didn't cry at all. And you've been around Isaiah. That motherfucker will cry for no reason, or if he doesn't feel like you're hearing him, he'll just go, ah. And I'm like, all right, bro, I heard you. But he was like loopy and shit. My mom was like, he said to the dentist, like, my booty itches, and I'm like, oh, God. My mom was like, yeah, he took the surgery like a champ. I was like, that's because he's a fucking berry. That's what we do around here. We eat those. Pain is nothing but a fucking opinion from a bitch you didn't ask to hear their opinion from. That bitch will be fate. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, so for me, man, I just want to say my name is Pete Camarillo, and I have no control over college football 25. I'm an addict. I'm fucking up my life all week. Feel like I haven't slept in like a month. I've just been staying up, barely sleeping 3 to 5 hours. But you know what? It was all fucking worth it. Because in year fucking 4, I finally hosted up the national title. I'm finally getting 5 stars. Things are rolling. Shout out to my CSUN Matadors. And yeah, man, otherwise this weekend, Just looking forward to taking a little break. First week of school next week. So back to the grind. But other than that, man, just touchdowns and tangents. TDs_tangents on Twitter and Instagram. Touchdownsandtangents.com. Shout out to your favorite podcast app. Shout out to our affiliates. Shout out to everyone who fucks with us. We are out. Peace.
Peace. Your brother gonna be a senior. We're fucking old now, bro.
Yep.
Peace.